The Netherlands is a highly desirable place to move to. I moved here almost 1 year ago by the program that's called Highly-skilled Worker or Kennismigrant in Dutch. This program is designed for specialists from abroad who want to live and work in the country. Today I want to share all the information you need about this program, including its requirements, the application process, and the rights you will have in the country. Let's start with the basics. What is this Highly-skilled Migrant program is all about? The program was created by the Dutch government to attract the specialists from abroad. The application process was simplified to make it more convenient for expats and also for the companies who is hiring foreign specialists. If you have researched the other countries in the EU, you probably heard about the Blue Card program. For example, it's quite popular in Germany. In the Netherlands, the Kennismigrant program almost completely replaced the Blue Card, which is more like a EU initiative. Although Blue Card is still available here as well, but it's rarely used for relocation. It's also quite often referred as a skilled migrant visa, which is not entirely correct because it's not a visa but a program to allowing you to obtain the residence permit here. You enter a country actually on a completely different visa. In general, if you're eligible for this program, I think it's the best program to work and live here in the Netherlands. So, what are the requirements for this program?
First, you must be a non-EU or EFTA national. Second, you must have an employment contract with an employer who is a sponsor recognized by IND. This usually means that they have a special approval from the Dutch government to hire from abroad. While it can be a long process to get this permit, there are ways to hire you even if the employer doesn't have this permit. I will discuss it later in this video. And third, your income must meet or exceed the threshold. The number is updated annually and currently stands at 3,672 euros per month before taxes for migrants under 30 years old and 5,008 euro per month for migrants over 30 years old. These numbers are for 2023.
Depending on your profession and citizenship, the requirements may vary for live and work in the Netherlands. I encourage you to check the official IND website where you can enter your nationality and you'll get all the information and specific requirements for your country or profession. And you will also find the information if you need a visa to enter the country or you can just come here. But in general, most important requirements are the ones I said before. If you successfully complete the immigration process, you will have almost the same rights as the Dutch citizens. You can live, work, open a business, use all local benefits and the same legal rights as local people here. You can also travel around the Schengen area for up to 3 months, even if your passport not usually allow this. However, if you travel abroad from the Schengen area, you still have to follow all the regular visa requirements and you have to use your own passport. For example, my passport requires me to apply for a visa to United Kingdom or United States. Living in the Netherlands doesn't give me any benefits in that sense. But the good thing, you don't have to go back to your country to apply for a visa, which is usually the case. You can apply right here because you're an official resident here. The only limitation for a residence is that you can't participate in the parliament or government elections. You also can't work at some government positions, but you still can participate in some local elections and water board, for example. And of course, you have to be employed at all time to maintain your residency permit. If you decided to change jobs, you have 3 months to apply for a new residency. For a new application, it's gonna be much easier than applying abroad, but you still have to do it. And if you can't find a job within 3 months, unfortunately you have to leave the country. If you're planning to work in the Netherlands, there is another amazing feature you should know about. It's called 30% ruling facility. This facility is also available for all highly skilled migrants and it allows you not to pay taxes for 30% of your income during the 5 years. You'll also get special non-residential tax status, which allow you not to pay taxes on box 2 and box 3 type of taxes here in the Netherlands. The most common taxes for these categories usually are savings, investments, or dividends from your Dutch or foreign company. Taxes is a quite wide topic to talk about, and I will definitely record another video where I go deeper into the taxes. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss it. It's also worth noting that this program, 30% ruling facility, allows you to exchange your foreign driving license to a Dutch one. It's completely free of charge and it's not required to pass any tests or exams. And please don't ask me how the 30% tax ruling related to exchanging the driving license. I have no idea. But I was quite happy to exchange my license here. Both features, license exchange and exemption from the Box 2 and Box 3 taxes, are also available to all the family that coming with you, and they don't have to apply for 30% ruling for that. However, the main feature, 30% ruling itself, is only available to people who specifically applied for it. And it's usually the main applicant. There are a lot of talk about cancelling or reducing this program in the recent years, and it's actually already was reduced from 8 years to 5 years a few years ago, but it's still working. Right now it's definitely worth applying for. The application has to be done by your employer, so make sure you mention it beforehand or maybe even discuss it during the interview for a job. To qualify for this program, you have to be hired abroad. You can't live within the Netherlands, I think 150 kilometers in recent years, and you also have to meet some salary requirements. But if you're qualified for high-skilled migrant, you usually qualified for 30% ruling as well. You also have to apply for it before you coming to the country or during the first 4 months when you arrived here. You can't apply for it after you've been living here more than 4 months.
If you want to see how 30% ruling affect your salary, check out this very popular tax calculator online. I will link it in the description. For example, let's say your salary is 5,000 euro per month. You can see your net income is 3,500 euros, and then we click just 30% ruling and you see it becomes 4,200. So more than 700 euros gets into your pocket when you're using 30% ruling facility.
When it comes to the family, the highly skilled migrant can bring your closest relatives, such as your wife or husband or your kids, and they will get the same residency permits and the same rights as you. But their residency permits will be linked to yours. So if you have to leave the country, they can't stand behind. Now let's talk about the application process for this program. It's actually quite straightforward, but still let's break it down.
First, you have to find an employer who is willing to sponsor your application. Second, the employer will then apply for you through IND. Third, check the IND website for listed requirements document for your nationality. For us, this included translated marriage certificate. If your marriage is not registered, additional document may be required. Birth certificates with apostilles also translated into Dutch, a special form provided by our employer and IND. First step, if you need a visa, during the approval process, sign up with the Dutch embassy in your current country of residence to collect your visas. 5. Provide photos and biometric data. And 6. Finally, collect your passports.
That's the gist of it. However, note that the visa application process may vary depending on your citizenship. For example, if you, like me, have a passport that not allow you to enter the Netherlands without Schengen visa, you have to apply for a specific type of visa called MVV visa. The visa is only useful when you first entering the country. Once you collected your residence permit, the MVV visa no longer has any purpose. But some of the passports don't really need any visa to enter the Netherlands, and it simplified the whole process. It's also worth noting that you don't have to apply for this MVV visa from your country of citizenship. It can be done in any country where there is of course, Dutch embassy, and if you live in this country officially. We were able to apply and collect all the required documents while we've been living in Georgia. But they can ask you for a proof of living in this country. to make sure you're not just a tourist there. The application fee for the visa is €350 per person, but usually in my experience, employer cover the costs. The decision on your application usually takes around 90 days, but in our case, it took around 1.5 months or 45 days approximately. So that covers the visa process. Now let's talk about what happens when you've been living in the country for some time. Upon arrival to the Netherlands, you will receive the residency permit, which is limited to a certain amount of time. It's the same as a working contract. This permit allows you to live and work in the country for up to 5 years. After 5 years, you have two options. You either have to apply for a permanent resident permit or for citizenship. Both permits allow you to stay for the country without any limitation, and you don't have to be tied up to any employment. For both applications, you have to go through the special process called inburgering, and you have to pass some exams about the general knowledge of Netherlands and the Dutch language. However, obtaining citizenship grants you a Dutch passport, which can be used as a travel document, and depends on your citizenship, but it could be quite beneficial. Keep in mind that the renouncing your current citizenship is required for getting a Dutch passport. In general, the Netherlands doesn't allow having a dual citizenship, although there are some exceptions. And the last thing, if your employer unable to sponsor you, don't worry, there are still ways to migrate to the country by this program. There are many third-party companies that specialize in this area. They can hire you as a proxy and sponsor your arrival to the country. This type of companies usually called payrolling companies. We were actually hired through such company, and there are not many downsides of it except for the mortgage. Recently we've been applying for a mortgage, and banks can scrutinize you if your company called payrolling company, so they will look closer to your application. However, if its employment is legitimate and you're working for one company, you will be totally fine. We were able to secure the mortgage while working through this payrolling company. That's it. I wish you a good luck with your immigration process, and I hope it's gonna be smooth. If you're planning to move to the Netherlands or you have any questions about the process, feel free to post a comment in the section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to check my other videos about living in the Netherlands. For example, I have one about finding a rental apartment here, which could come quite useful, and another one where I review the whole experience of living here for 9 months. See you in the next one. Bye bye.